Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to...
Now, you became the president of PMAN in 1989, at the age of 29. Till date, you remain the most successful PMAN president. What did you do that others are not doing?
I don't know, but let me put it this way.
Yes.
I said that in every society, you have the givers and you have the takers, right? And what makes every society succeed, whether at the national, state, local government, family, institutional level, is that you have true givers, people who give of their time and of themselves. I can't be a leader, and my instinct is to take, right? I found out that when I became president of PMAN, the first this thing was, what are the challenges? What are the objectives? At the time I became president, yes, copyright was a major issue. It was an incredible objective, and we had to find a way to make progress in that direction. And the other was the definition of an artist. How was a Nigerian artist seen? And it was clear to me that we were seen as hemp smokers, drunkards, never do wells, dirty people, and all that, who didn't use the right words. And I thought that by my personal example, I'll begin to redefine that. And what happened was, by one's courage and one's focus on those issues, the perception of the Nigerian artists began to change. Respect came in. When I was asked to become president of PMAN, I really didn't run. People asked me seriously I first rejected it because I was too busy. The story is this. There was a major conference going on in Nigeria. I think that conference was hosted at the Sheraton in Ikeja, and they brought people from all over the world at a time when the copyright issues in Nigeria had become critical. And some of my brothers and friends from PMAN came to me at my office in EMI to say they wanted me to present a paper on behalf of PMAN at a conference. I said I never presented a paper in my life, and they said they thought that I had the intellect to do that. So eventually I agreed. I went to do a paper I called a song called Piracy. At that time, my record, Juliana, was being heavily pirated. Based on that, I did a song called Piracy, presented at this conference with people from all over the world. And a song called Piracy caught fire, more or less. The newspapers were serializing the paper and all that. Then the same group who came to me to ask me to do a paper came back and said, we want you to be president of PMAN. I said, yeah, we must be crazy. Can't you see all the people around me who need my attention? How am I going to be? They came back and insisted that, they need a new image for PMAN. I said, okay, if you're ever going to think of that, you must convince a number of people to be in that team, because I don't think it's going to be a one-man event. I mentioned somebody like Onyeka Onwenu. I said you have to convince Onyeka Onwenu to come into the executive. You have to convince Lau Ekins to come into the executive, and you have to convince a gentleman is late now, Demos Deniro, who became our treasurer eventually. And that's how I got into PMAN. There was no money. When I say no money, nothing at all, not even a bank account, and then I said I'll give PMAN 1 day a week from my regular job at EMI. From 1 day a week, it became 2 days a week, then 3 days a week. And finally, I never went back to my office at EMI. I never even resigned properly. I just stopped going to EMI because the level at PMAN became so crazy. The challenges became so suffocating that I had to work to lift the image of the association, and there were people who noticed. Of course, the copyright fight, we got the copyright law enacted, got the copyright commission set up. It was a copyright council then, and then the incredible Nigerian Music Awards, which brought people from everywhere into, got the president, the vice president, the ambassadors, the governors, everybody. That changed the entire face of the organization. But you know what then happened? Everybody after wanted to be president of PMAN. They didn't see the work that made it possible. What they saw was what they thought was the accolades, and our president, I could go to the president of the Federal Republic and talk to him one-on-one. Everybody wanted the chance to go to the president of the Federal Republic and talk to him one-on-one. But I never went to the president of the Federal Republic to say, give me one penny, give me a piece of land, or give me an appointment, or do me any favor. Never happened. You know what? And I lived in a 3-bedroom flat, not in Banana Island or somewhere in very close to Agege. I didn't drive a choice car. People would be surprised. I drove a Passat TS as president of PMAN, but I thought I presented the organization so well. That organization was admired, and it didn't matter that I didn't have any money, and I never stole a penny. I could never be in an office where I was stealing money. I never stayed one day beyond the time I was elected. I mean, I'm finicky about rules. I always insist that if you do not obey the rules that are set for your organization, for your country, you will be a complete failure. And I saw, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.